Hello, once again, my name is Jose Trujillo. I'm a fine art artist, and I'm coming to you from my art studio to talk about some of the subjects, some of those burning subjects that artists need to hear, whether you're a musician, a painter, whatever, an artist, any type of crafter with your hands or your voice, whatever. This one's about what what do we have? Collectors, customers, clients. What is it? Because there seems to be this confusion as to. I talked in other videos as to the mythical. I call them the unicorns. Collectors. Everybody talks about these collectors. Oh, the art collectors, or the people who really love your stuff. Not only really love your stuff, but are willing to pay high price for what you do. Well, every industry's got its prices, right? It's got its thing. Like if you're a musician, no matter how good you are, you're going to there's a set fee, a standard fee that may go $5 here, $5 there, $20 here, 25, $20 there, but it's a standard fee to get into a show, If you're an artist, a painter like myself, then the fee, there's a standard fee also. Many people don't know that. There's a standard fee for sizes that people talk about. It's kind of like market set. But nonetheless, if you're a really good salesperson, or you got yourself into the market really well, and you're well known, then that changes. Just like if you're a musician, if you're going to do a private show, it's not the same that the local musician from the bar goes and does a show at your house and you kind of give him $100 or whatever, as to Mick Jagger goes. Well, that's a whole different it's a whole different thing. Of course, I'm doing this extremes, but it's the same thing with art. It's not the same that the local artist, who's trying to make ends meet, as to getting someone like. I don't know, one of my favorites right now is Jeremy Lipkin. He's fantastic. He's got some great portraits. Or Kehinde Wiley, some beautiful portraits. It's not the same, right? It's just not going to be the same. Just because they're good, they're really good, but what does that mean, right? There's a lot of people who are really good. They're just not in the market. They're not known. They're not famous, how we like to say for short, right? But so getting back to my subject, what do we have, collectors or customers? What is it? In my personal experience, you do not get collectors, and many people start out with that. In my personal experience, collectors is something that you graduate to. What do I say this? I've been selling my work for the past 20 years. Here and there, not professionally and full time for only the past 5 years. That's what I've been doing. I'm a full-time artist, and I support my family with this, and I believe I got authority on the subject. So hear me out if you wanna make a living doing this. I'm not famous. I'm not making millions yet. But I make a good living being an artist. I just want to share some of my things. You don't get to collectors right away. If someone tells you you got to find those collectors, I think you shouldn't have either or. Okay, this is one of my things that I believe. Don't go for either or. Don't go for well, if I can't have collectors, then what do I do? No, keep looking for collectors. Just don't spend all your time in this mythical collector. This is what I believe. Based on my experience, you will not get to quality meaning those quality collectors, unless you go through quantity. I learned this just recently by a sales expert named Grant Cardone, but I knew this intuitively. I just didn't know how to phrase it since I started painting. I just didn't know how to get about it, because society tells you to slow down, to be careful, to don't go after everyone, and all this bullshit they tell you, family and the social norms. First, what you want to do is get as many customers as you can. And this means whether you do classes, you do shows, you teach people how to paint or how to play guitar, whatever you do, okay? Appropriate to whatever you do. This means that. This means selling posters. This means selling note cards. You want to go big and you want to go small. So you want to do the little note cards, or for those of you who paint little small paintings, daily paintings or whatever, and you want to do those huge museum paintings. So you want to have a spectrum and everything in between. Why? Because you want to capture as many people as you can. The more people that you capture and bring into your funnel, I'm going deep here into sales, mumbo jumbo. The more people you bring into your funnel, into your vision, into your channel, let's call it that. From those people, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe, if you bring hundreds, are going to raise their hand and are going to say, you know what, I'm a diehard for you. You know what, I believe in you. I believe what you do, and I'm going to spend the right amount of, whatever that right amount is. And I'm going to pay for your quality products, for I believe in you, and I'm going to pay the fee. I'm going to pay the price. Those are your collectors. Those are pure gold. You want to take care of those. Everyone is pure gold, okay? Don't get me wrong. Don't let the other ones go and focus on those. You want to have both. You want to keep bringing in everyone, and then out of those, because some of those might not be collectors, but might turn into collectors later on, might convert into collectors. So what do you have, collectors or customers? Well, I believe you have customers first, and then you get collectors. So don't be chasing the idea of collector. Try to get yourself a client, a customer. Try to get yourself someone to raise their hand and say, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. It's what, $100? I'll buy it. Oh my God, it's not a collector. A collector would have paid $1,000. Get a customer first, and then worry about the collector later. My name is Jose Trujillo. I'm a fine art artist, and here's some sales tips and advice for artists. Why not? It's worked for me.